Fade to black.
Hey, who'd you talk to? What's going on? It is me. It's Mike Lepre, King Michael. This is Legit Fantasy Football for legitpodcast.com. It is October 3rd, 2021. It's 11:06. We're about a minute late. We got a full slate of football games, and I cannot wait to get into them. We've got some classic matchups. We have some crazy-ass spreads. We got a lot we got to get into. Joining me, as always, Genius Kev. Morning, Kev.
Hey, good morning, King. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I was looking over all these games, and they're all over the place, huh?
This week's nuts because I always say you got to look at the spreads early in the week, and we're going to talk about some games, but just one that jumps out right off the bat. If you wanted Kansas City over Philly, Kansas City opened at -5.5. Obviously, great. You're under 6, you're under 7. Now they're at -7. So now you got to tease them if you want to get through the 7 and the 6. So you just got to look at the spreads early, very early in the week. Get your bets in early. But I've had a pretty good last few days. I watched the Hamilton musical last night. I read 3 business books this week. Did a lot of spent time with my daughter, my mother. Did a lot of traveling up and down between New York and Providence, and also somehow listened to about 8 hours of NFL podcasts. So I'm ready to go, locked and loaded for today.
That's a lot of podcast listening you did right there.
I read all those books. I don't understand it. I think I figured out a way to freeze time.
Maybe. Also, my book's getting ever so closer. I do believe we will have a October release date on Amazon.com and in person. I don't know what to think. I don't even know how to handle it. I'm just like, yeah, all right. Let me know when it's done, and I'll take it from there. As they're acting like I know what I'm doing. I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't. Never wrote a book before. Joining us, Mastradamus. What's up, Matt?
What's going on, guys? Talking about freezing time. I not only can freeze time, but I can also see forward, see backwards. I am. You laugh, but honestly, I'm being very serious. And today, I'm going to lay some heat. I've had some really solid weeks this year in the NFL. Week 1, week 2 was batting 80 to 85%. Last week, I did so about 50%. But the games that I told you to take, I hit on every single one of them. But this week, I plan on being flawless. And I'm going to tell you some crazy stuff that is going to come to fruition. And that is talking about seeing into the future.
All right, so Matt, before we get into that, remember the trade I told you about that I did when I got the two when I got the jersey and the helmet, and I traded them in. So they sent me the jersey, the helmet, and the other ones I traded for. They sent me everything by mistake. I ain't gonna complain. So the guy from the Bears is Jalen Johnson, linebacker. Never heard of him. That's why I traded him in. And then the other one, like I was showing Kev earlier, was a Clint Portis. So I traded those in, and I got Cortland Sutton, Hollywood Brown on Oklahoma jersey, and I'm waiting for the Singletary. And then just yesterday, I got the Bruins goalie from the 70s, the one who wore the stitches on his mask. His name's like Cheevers or something like that. And then I picked up another old Colts fullback. And I was like, Matt, I had 1 spot out of 10. The other guy had 9. Beat him. Another one, I had 1 spot out of 8. The other guy had 7. Beat him. They were calling me. They kept yelling, "Sniped! He sniped him again! He sniped him again!" So, dude, I'm on fire with that too. But I can't wait to pick the games. So let's jump feet first into this. All right. We are without Brother Ray. So, we are without Brother Ray. So I'll be writing down these picks. Make sure I put Rays in when we get the chance. We're gonna open up the slate with Tennessee going to the Jets. Jets are getting 6, which I don't know. I feel like that's a lot. Tennessee plays close with everything. And the over-under is 44.5. Kev, what do you like in this game?
See, this is another one where line moved. This was started out Tennessee -7.5. So if you wanted the Jets, you should have got them when it was more than a touchdown. I think Tennessee is dealing with a lot of injuries. I shouldn't say I think. I know they are. A.J. Brown is out. Julio Jones is out. Already they're, so that's going to make their offense a little more predictable. Brother Ray mentioned Anthony Fixer as a tight end. I guess, somebody's going to catch passes there. And also Westbrook, what is the last name? Westbrook dash Ilkine or Ilkine, whatever. Those two guys probably decent DFS things to look at. But look, Zach Wilson is of the 279 quarterbacks that have started games in the NFL since 2000. Zach Wilson ranks dead last in a couple of metrics, like QBR, I think, a couple of others. So that's obviously not a great start to a career, but it's only 3 games. I think the Titans' defense is poor. They're bottom third defense. The Jets' defense is actually decent. Tennessee doesn't have the wide receivers. If this were over 7, I would definitely look at the Jets. Right now, I'm probably going to stay away. But if you force me to pick it at 6, I'm still going to go Jets, and I'm going to go under.
Matt, what do you think Tennessee giving 6 at home to the Jets?
I still see 7 in some places, but I'm going to echo exactly what Kev just said. The bet of this game is the under, but I like the Jets also covering that spread. Yep.
All right, so you like the Jets plus 6 or plus 7 and the under of 44.5?
Yes.
Right.
Under is definitely a 100% lock. And I would echo.
Yeah, and I also I know we don't talk about team totals, but I found Tennessee under 26, so I bet Tennessee total under 26. Also,
I'm gonna have to agree with you guys. I hope that's not a bad thing, but I too like the Jets getting 6 and the under of 44.5. Next game, Matt, KC goes to Philly. The 1-2 Chiefs look to go to 500 against the 1-2 Eagles at home. The Eagles are getting 7.5. KC's minus 7.5. Over under is 54.5. Matt, who do you like in that game?
It's crazy, right? Because Phillies look like dog doo-doo. KC can't really say that they've looked much better. They probably played against better competition. I'm going to, listen, I said this a few weeks ago I think last week when they played the Chargers. The worst team against the spread in the last 2 years is the KC Chiefs. Once again today, they're going to allow Philly to stick around, and Philly will cover that spread, and it's an under.
Kev, what do you think of that?
I missed a little. M1 faded off a little bit. What did he say? Do you like Philly and the under?
Yep.
I went Philly and the under. Yeah,
I mean everything he said is accurate. I mean Kansas City has not covered a spread in a long time. Like I said earlier, you could have got the Chiefs minus 5.5. That would have been probably a good, a much better bet. I'm still off Philly. They look terrible against Dallas, but that doesn't make the whole season. The reason I'm a little bit off on them is that they have injuries on the offensive line and injuries on the defensive line, and I think that's gonna cause them problems. It's kind of a square bet, but I'm gonna go KC and I'm gonna go under.
This is a copycat week, and Jalen Hurts last week against the Cowboys couldn't go side to side. That's because of Micah Parsons. You're going to see Jalen Hurts copy in his best imitation of Lamar Jackson, what they did when they KC Chiefs played the Ravens there. We're going to see Jalen Hurts kind of show out a little bit today.
No shocker on this one, but I'm going to go with KC minus 7.5 and the under against the lowly Eagles. So I'm going with KC, me and Kev. Matt, you're going with Philly. All right, moving right along. Carolina goes to Dallas. Dallas is minus 4. The over-under is 51.5. I want to start this one. This is my this is an upset right here. This is my upset. This is my NFC East upset. Carolina will win the game outright. As far as the over-under, I'm going to go under. So I'm taking Carolina plus 4 in the under. Kev.
Yeah, you guys know I'm a Cowboys fan. But the interesting thing on this game is right now everyone's back in Dallas, and I think the line is back up to 4.5 right now. But whatever, we can talk 4. But I think I'm looking at one of my sites here. 83% of the cash is on Dallas. 79% of 70% of the money's on the under. 70% of the tickets are on Dallas. So this is like one-way traffic on Dallas, which is usually kind of indicator of a trap game. The thing that worries me with Carolina is obviously CMC is out. That's gonna cause some problems there. And then I'm still a little skeptical because they haven't played a real team yet. All their metrics are freaking awesome. Like they're the number one ranked defense. Their offense is solid. They're top third offense. Dallas, we all know the offense is unbelievable. Defense has actually been playing decent. Most turnovers in the NFL so far this year. I think we have 8. So it's going to be a great game. It's probably the game I'm most looking forward to watching besides Bucks Patriots, obviously. But I'm gonna let a little homerism creep in here. I'm gonna go Dallas, and I'm gonna go under.
Matt,
I'm acknowledging the homerism.
I'll tell you right now. I said I was going to be Floss, and Floss is what I will be. Big injury to CMC, but there's an injury that's even bigger with the Carolina Panthers. And I said that there was a reason why they traded for C.J. Henderson. C.J. Henderson is a very good corner, but he's not J.C. Horn, who I had as the number one corner, and he wasn't even the top 5 of most scouts. He got selected number 1. That has been recorded. I said it before the draft even started. J.C. Horn is out, and that's why they made the trade for him. They gave up a big piece with Dan Arnold. Dan Arnold is a big piece of that offense, and they're going to miss him today, but they're going to miss J.C. Horn also. They don't have the pieces to make up for it. Now they're playing with the big boys. Dallas covers, and it's an under.
over under 51.5. Under. Okay. Next game. Going to New Orleans. Now where are they playing this? Anyone find out?
New Orleans. In New Orleans.
Giants are underdogs by 7.5, and it's 42 the over under. A lot to say about this game. No Sterling Shepard. I believe no Darius Slayton. You're gonna have Galladay, and you're gonna have the fantasy pickup of the week right now in Kadarius Toney. They're gonna get Toney involved in the offense as much as they possibly can in this game. So if you have Kadarius Toney, feel free to start him. But all right, Kev, the spread 7.5 New Orleans, 42 over under.
You're gonna like to hear this, King, unless you think I'm a curse. But I think 7.5 is too big for New Orleans to be laying. So I think they got some injuries on the offensive line. The center's out. Their starting tackle Armstead is out. So that's a problem there. You kind of talked a little bit about the Giants injuries. Giants have been playing teams tough, and I think they'll do the same thing today. Also, everyone, you're hearing a lot of different angles on this being the Saints' first game in New Orleans. Some people are saying it's going to be a huge lift. Other people are saying it's like kind of basketball. The first game back from a long road trip is kind of a letdown at home. I'm kind of a little bit more inclined to believe the second thing. So you stack all that up plus Jameis. I think the Giants with +7, +7.5, whatever you can get, are a good play here. I actually bet them twice. I thought about it and then I increased my bet. So I'm big on the Giants in this.
Matty?
Opposite side of both you guys. The Saints can attack offensive lines. They did beat a good team in Green Bay. Their defensive line is probably one of the best in football. There's a lot of pieces with the Giants today that really can't accumulate many points. I don't see many points on the board, so I like the under as the best bet in this game. At 7.5 is a lot of points. I'm not a big fan of big spreads, but I would side with the Saints in this one.
All right. And
can I give you my over-under? If I didn't, I want under.
All right, under. All right, so here's how I'm going to break this game down. The Giants are supposed to lose this game. This would be a game where you expect the Giants to lose, right? I'm being honest. Like it's almost like I'm expecting them to lose. But you got Jameis playing back home in New Orleans, where the pressure will be more intense. The spotlight will be on him a little bit more. The Giants, like you said, have played everybody tough. They have. They've been in just about every game. They let like a late touchdown against, I think it was the Washington football team go, and then they let the Falcons game kind of get out of control at the end. But for the most part, they're in it the whole time. So do I think they can stay within 7.5 of the Saints? Yes. Unfortunately, I think this is the type of game the Giants have a chance of winning. I don't know why at 0-3. I don't know what our plan is, but I'm going to go with the Giants. in the over. The Giants in the over, because 42 is not that much for two teams that might be able to bomb it.
Besides Atlanta and Washington, who do the Giants play?
Atlanta, Washington, Buffalo. Buffalo's a good team. No, Denver. I'm sorry, Denver. And Denver played them well. Teddy Bridgewater managed well. The defense was brutal. So, yeah, the Giants will be tough against New Orleans. So I'm taking the Giants in the over. All right, just me and you, Matt. It goes to Minnesota, where Cleveland's playing Minnesota, and it's a pick. And the over-under is 51.5. Now, I would be led to believe that everyone in the stratosphere would think Cleveland's a better team. I would think that, right? So then you would think that maybe Minnesota should have been, they get -3 to be at home. So now it's a pick. So Cleveland at home would be favored by 6, the 3 and then the extra 3. But who do you like in the pick, Matt? Cleveland and Minnesota.
Minnesota outright, easy.
Why?
Just because the spread, it's a gimme. Like a lot of people are looking at it, like you said, and they're going to go with Cleveland. Minnesota is a good team. They're finding themselves, and Minnesota wins this game outright. Easy pick.
Kev, Cleveland's at Minnesota. I was just saying to Matt, it's a pick game, which means Cleveland would be favored by about 6 if they were home. What do you think in this game?
I can't believe this is all the way down to a pick. This is one of those games where you had a good opportunity. Again, I keep saying the same thing over and over. It's not like a broken record. You had a good opportunity earlier this week to get some points with Minnesota. I think it was at 3 at one point. You could have gotten that, and I would have bet that. At a pick, this is really, really tough because for some reason, Minnesota's defense is worse than it should be. Everyone talks about Mike Zimmer. He had a bad defense last year too. I mean, so is it a trend now? I don't think so. I still have kind of faith in his defense. And Kirk Cousins is having a great season on offense. He's got Adam Thielen's unbelievable. Jefferson, they got Cook back this week. So I think Minnesota is going to make it a game. A pick I don't really like. But at a pick I'm gonna have to go Cleveland. If you got it early with a field goal to Minnesota, I applaud you for it. But pick I'm gonna go Cleveland. And I'm going to go with the over.
I'm going to go with Matt and take Minnesota. And I'm going to also go with the under.
What's the over under?
51.5.
It could be a lot of points scored in this one. This is the first over I'm going to ride with.
All right. Let's look at the under. Detroit's going to Chicago. Chicago's favored by 3. Over-under is 41.5. Why is Chicago only favored by 3 at home against Detroit? They're both bad teams, but I think Chicago's better. Kev?
This is a weird one. They announced Fields becoming the starter, and I know M1 was in a sports book when that announcement was made, and they took the line down for a little while, and then they put it back up at basically the same thing. So it's strange. I think that game last week, we talked about it on Thursday. Everyone's blaming Nagy, and I see that, but there's got to be some blame on Fields also. So I still don't think we know what we have with Fields, which is probably why the spread is so low. I think Nagy is actually coaching for his life right now. I think if they lose this game, there's a legit chance he gets fired. They can't, you lose to Detroit, especially in Chicago, you got kind of a real problem. So right now I'm seeing Chicago -3. I'm going to lay the 3 with Chicago, and the over-under is 41.5, which is incredibly low. I got to go over on that one.
You like Chicago and the over? I have it at 41. Matt, who do you like?
Even better.
This is a lock of the week, and I'll tell you why. And I don't think Matt Nagy is fighting for his life. I think that he set up Justin Fields for death, and I think that it's a power struggle with the ownership. They forced him to put Fields in there. And he was like, you want to put Fields in there? I'll show you what Fields will do. They put him in there like he was a vet. That offensive line has had problems all year long. They didn't slide protection. They didn't chip with a tight end. They let him sit back there with no time, and they expected him to be a veteran, and when he wasn't, they didn't cater to his style. Once again, this is probably Justin Fields being put in there by ownership, and Matt Nagy's going, hey, what do you want me to do? And he's going to let him go back there, and he's going to have the Wolves come at him. This is an easy pick. There is no good team in Chicago. Detroit Lions have been playing scrappy against anybody. Take Detroit Lions on the money line. Easy.
Over or under?
What's the over-under?
41.
See that? It's 41 because they don't believe Chicago's going to score. I see this game being 27-10 under Detroit. Beats bad.
Kev, you went with Chicago -3. Matt went with Detroit. I got to go with Chicago at home -3, and I'm going to take the over.
Matt, so a question for you on this one. These are the kind of games I like to pick your brain on a little bit. So remember a couple of weeks ago, it was Chicago at Cincy, almost same line. Everyone was, no one thought Chicago was going to pull that out. They ended up winning, I think, and covering. So what's got? And I think you and I were both on the Chicago side in that game. I think we were the only two. What's got you thinking the opposite for this week?
I had Chicago in this game. I had Chicago because of better defense, and the only reason why I'm going big on Detroit is because they've just shown better against better competition. Chicago hasn't shown much, and last week was a sign to things to come. Like I said, I always see ahead of the curve. There's not just a problem with Chicago. There's a problem with the ownership to the head coach. We're not seeing anything out of their best talents, and that's going to continue to be the case. Justin Fields, it sucks that he got drafted there because he's such a talent, but they're not catering to his talents.
All right. Makes sense. Now on to shuffling on along to Buffalo. Houston goes into Buffalo, where this is weird. Buffalo's favored by 17. The over-under is 47. Matt?
I talked with Kevin earlier, and I told him anytime there was a double-digit spread that I always go with the dog with the double-digit spread. Buffalo's been blowing everybody out. I could see it happening again today, but I'm still going to take Houston with that 17. They score one touchdown early on. That's probably what you're going to see. And then you're going to be up 24, and you're going to be hoping to God that Buffalo Bills come back. Could they do it? Sure, they could. I'm riding with Houston. What's the over-under?
47.
It's tough, man. I'll go over.
Kev?
Yeah, just pretty much echoing what M1 said. The thing that worries me with Buffalo is they're like that New England philosophy where if they have their boot on your throat, they don't let up. They won by last week, 25-30, something like that. So they can do it. However, I'm not a big Davis Mills fan, but he did show a few things like in the 2-minute drill, he was good. When they ran a little hurry up, he was good. So I think they could get something going early. I actually bet Houston already at plus 17.5. I thought the half point is nice because 27-10 now becomes a winner for Houston. So I'll still take the 17, and I'm going to go over.
All right. The question is: so who is starting at quarterback for Buffalo?
Davis Mills.
I mean, I'm sorry, not for Buffalo. Not Buffalo.
Yeah, Houston. Davis Mills.
Davis Mills. This would be such a different pick if it was Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me tell you guys something. Davis Mills had the best pro day out of all this class draft this year, but he fell under the radar because of all the names. He did have a great pro day, and not for nothing, he did show a lot in that Thursday night. That game could have went either way on Thursday night. When C-Mac went out, they were looking for some production, and I'm going to tell you that falls into the Carolina-Dallas game. Let me see what Carolina can do without C-Mac, because that is their whole offense. Now, going back to Houston, they've been scrappy in a lot of games. Davis Mills is capable, and he's also got now a week and a half because they had that Thursday night game. He's going to be better. He's going to be even better today.
Kev, who did you like?
Houston.
The thing with Houston I like, too, is Buffalo's defense as great as they think it is this year? Like, where is it ranked? Is it really way up there?
Yeah, they let up. And let's not forget, they lost to, which I thought at one point in time, a Pittsburgh organization that was pretty good is not. And they lost to Pittsburgh. They do.
So can we see Houston get scoring, say, 14 points?
If they do, that 17 cannot be covered.
Can you see that, Kev? Can you see?
Yeah, I can see that.
Points?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go with Houston. I don't like. I'm going to go over. I can't.
What are you doing with the spread?
I'm going to go with Houston plus 17. It's too much. It's too much. It's over 2 touchdowns. 2 touchdowns and a field goal. That's a lot.
Yeah. The other angle that is interesting going to be here is the fantasy production, because you could have monster games. You could have Josh Allen with another like big game like he had last week. You could, Zach Moss somehow resurrected his career from the dead after week 1, and he's got a good workload now. You got Brandon Cooks on the other side. Someone I really like here is Dawson Knox. He's somehow he's running a lot more routes, got a lot more targets. So if you can get him cheap in DFS, he's probably someone worth looking at in this game, because if Buffalo gets out to a big lead and he's making catches here and there, he could end up with a touchdown and having a decent week.
Speaking of Dawson Knox, I love Conklin. He touched on Minnesota. I love that tight end in Minnesota today, big time.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on to a game that I don't trust the spread at all. I don't like it at all. Is Indy going to Miami? Miami's favored by 1. The over-under is 42.5. At home, Miami's favored by 1, 42.5 against Indy. Kev? That
spread dropped all the way to 1. Wow.
Yeah.
It was definitely 2.5 yesterday. So obviously that's a lot of money coming in. So this is one of those games, and this is a good one that I want to hear everyone's thoughts on, because everything here says Miami, right? You got Quentin Nelson is on IR, so he's gonna miss the game. You got Carson Wentz, who's a kind of a disaster this year so far, and he's got 2 sprained ankles. Indy has 1 legit receiver. Jonathan Taylor's hurt, and they're starting to work Marlon Mack in. Everything says Miami on this one. Brissett is arguably not that big of a downgrade from Tua. So like this could be a trap, but I only laying 1. I gotta go Miami. It's gonna be 82. It's gonna be humid. I think Carson Wentz could have a meltdown on the 50. And just turn it to a puddle, and then they'd have to bring Jacob Easton in. So I'm gonna go Miami, and 40 again. I'm seeing like 41.5 for the total.
42.5. Yeah.
42.5 now. Yeah, I'll go under 42.5 then.
Matt?
I'm echoing what Kevin said. Miami's looked good this year. I think Jacoby is an upgrade from Tua. He's had more game experience. Broken legs freaking with Carson Wentz. They haven't looked good on offense or defense. This is Miami.
Miami in the over or under?
I'm going to go under.
See, unfortunately, I'm going to go with you guys, just based on the fact that I really think Miami is a much better team than Indy right now. So I'm going to go Miami in the under. All right, moving out to Atlanta. The Washington football team is favored by 1.
I'm sorry, can I ask you a question? Where do you see Miami -1? Is that on at the track?
I have it on Bet Online.
Really? Okay, cool.
Yeah, Miami -1.
I have to go. So I'm still seeing 2.5 where I go, so I might have to check that out. All right, cool. Thank you.
All right, so Washington going over to Atlanta. Washington's favored going into Atlanta by 1.5. The over/under is 47.5. Now, as the NFC East whisperer that I am, I'm going to tell you that Atlanta will win this game, because the NFC East is a cluster for Snizzle. They really are. They're going to lose games you don't think they're going to lose. They're going to win games you don't think they're going to win. That's just how the NFC East rolls. So take Atlanta with the upset, and I'm going to go under on this game. Kev?
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to have M1 go first on this one, if you don't mind. Yeah.
All right, I'll bring him back into the screen. How about that?
Oh, he's not on? Oh, sorry, I didn't see.
Matt, who do you like? Washington favored by 1.5.
This is the game that you could take a coin flip to, but it's going to be Washington in the over. I think that this is the no defense game. Over is a lock, so if you want to go with a lock, take the over. But I like Washington in this one. I think that they present more challenges than Atlanta does.
Kev?
Yeah. So I want to talk about 2 things on this game, and they're both a little bit big picture stuff. This is Washington is one of those teams where it's now time. It was probably time maybe a week ago to kind of reassess what we think of the football team. Right? Everyone was so high on their defense. We talked about it a lot. The 4 first-round picks on the defensive line, how amazing they were last year. The defense is not as good as everyone says they were, and that's got to be taken into account. Now, whether it already has been in some of the spreads, I don't think that's the case. The second thing that I would like to know is, you're the Falcons, right? And you ran the training camp. How did it not leak that Matt Ryan is like, if he's not completely washed, he's he's very, very close. Like, how do we not really hear that? Like, were there beat writers saying it and we're just not paying close enough attention? Because everywhere you look, people seem surprised that he completely fell off. But like, and the same thing is true for Pittsburgh. How does it not leak that these guys just can't make throws anymore? But all that said, when it finally comes down to making a bet, I'm going to go Redskins. Because I think Ryan is washed.
Football team, you mean?
Yeah, so I can still say it. It's not a banned word.
Offended me.
So I'm going to go Washington, and I'm going to go the under. But I still don't understand how the intelligence doesn't leak that teams that quarterbacks are washed when they're washed.
Well, let me ask you. I can tell you this much. I was of the mindset that Ben was washed. I came into this saying Ben was washed. I thought he looked washed. That's why I picked against them like week 2. As far as Matt Ryan, though, no, I mean, dude, I love reading the beat writers. I love like going and seeing like per team what they're saying. I didn't hear anything about Matt Ryan being like that. I mean, we should have put 2 and 2 together by watching him the last year or so.
Yeah,
but it's just age. I think it's just age. It's father time with him. That's all I think you're going on with there.
I mean, he's not drinking baby blood like Tom Brady.
No. Yeah. Like I'm looking at it right now. His average depth of target is 4.9 yards. That's not completion. That's average depth of target. Less than 5 yards. The only one lower than him is Andy Dalton. And like this didn't come out of nowhere. You could say like you're right, Mike. We probably should have seen it a little bit last year. But like I didn't hear like Orlando Ledbetter from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution leaking out that Ryan can't throw 10 yards down the field. It's a really interesting thing. I think next season we got to pay a little more attention to the training camp notes.
I agree. I agree on that. We're gonna move on to the 4:00 games. But before we do, so in fantasy football, in the legit fantasy football league. We have to go. I want to just take a quick gander at that league. Let's see. So in the top spot, go ahead.
While you're taking a gander, I got to say, M1 says he can see the future, but he did not see the loss he's going to take this week in the legit league because he's coming into New Haven. We're playing in the Yale Bowl. You're coming to the Ivy Leaguers, and you're going to go home with your loss and our first win of the season. I see that. We were working on it.
Mastradamus is at home.
What?
Mastradamus is at home.
Oh, well. We better get on a plane then because I'm in the wrong city.
You better grab all your stuff and hurry up, will you? So there's 3 teams left at 3-0. Cut My Balls, which is Buddy's team that scored the most. Well, not the most total, but he's up there. And then David's team, Gentleman Dave's 3-0, and myself are 3-0. Then we have a couple of high scorers. We had a lot of high scorers, honestly. What's his name? CJ, Coach has put up a bunch of points. But the teams that look like they're struggling the most, I'd have to say, would be Mastradamus. You're having a hard time at 1 and 2. Kev, you're 0-3, and then Timmy B's 0-3. I thought Timmy B drafted well, and then Jesse's Jackals at the bottom at 0-3. I'm going to go on record and say that Jesse's Jackals will not leave the basement of 12 for the entire season. In the corrupted league, I just want to say really fast, it is the legit Queens of Brooklyn going up against the Memphis Kings. And I got to tell you, Kev, we are trotting out 2 awful teams, in my opinion.
What are you talking about?
I don't like them. They're at the projected points for our teams. The projected game score is 77-69.
Yeah, you can't go by those.
I'm just letting you know that's what they think of us. That's what they think of us, Kev. So
look, I'm pretty happy with my team there. I got Stafford, I got Zach Moss, I got Chris Carson. I forgot my
Trevor Hubbard.
Yeah, that doesn't. That's decent. I got Tyreek Hill, Deontay Johnson, Keenan Allen, DeAndre Hopkins, my tight end Noah Fant.
Yeah,
I mean, I think I'm in pretty good shape.
I think I'm going to get to this week because I'm not going to start Jameis Winston. I would rather see you lose at the hands of Danny Dimes. So I'm going to roll that. I think you'd be more upset if Danny threw like 4 touchdowns for the first time in his career and just lit it up to like 100 yards on the ground. And the funny thing is, he's due for a game like that. You may not believe me, but he is due for a game where he throws like 3 or 4 touchdowns and runs for like 100 yards because he can do it. All right. Moving on to the 4:00 games. Seattle going to San Fran. Here's another one I don't get the spread. Seattle's going to San Fran. San Fran's at home, favored by 2.5. Over under is 52. I don't. Matt, help me out this game because this spread makes no sense to me. It throws me off the scent. I don't know. Yeah, I didn't mute you. There you go.
I'm not a fan of Seattle. I think it's a carryover of last year. I think that they've lost it to lesser teams this year already. San Fran is on the upward swing, even with the loss to Green Bay. They look good. Over under, they're just saying that Seattle can score a lot of points. I don't think Seattle's going to score a lot of points. I think it's San Fran in the under. Take it to the bank. San Fran's going to win that game.
Kev?
I'm gonna go against M1 and I go head to head on this one. I can't figure out San Francisco. Every time I think they've figured themselves out, they have a weird game. Like I thought Jimmy G looked good last week. I thought he played a good beginning of the game, good end of the game, not that great in the middle, but he still put them in position to win. Obviously Rodgers is Rodgers, and 37 seconds left was no timeouts. Was enough to get them to win there. But I think San Francisco's got the injuries are creeping up again. That team always seems to be injured. I think Seattle with Russell Wilson, I think they'll exploit the 49ers defensive backs. So I'm going to go Seattle, and I'm going to take the points. Again, I wish it were 3, but I'm going to go Seattle, and I'm going to go under.
So, and I am going Seattle and the over. I think it's going to be a shootout. Let's see. Over is me. Kev is the under. All right. Arizona going to the Rams. It's a big game right here. Rams are favored by 4.5, and the over-under is 54.5. Kev?
That's huge. That's going to be a great game. I'm really, really excited for this game. This is probably my second. This of the 3 games I want to watch. The second, obviously, Patriots are the third. So we got a good 1 o'clock game, a great 4 o'clock game, and then we got the night game. But I think you could say the Rams are kind of due for a letdown after beating Tampa. I don't believe that. I think their team is solid. Again, Henderson back. Michelle played well in his absence. They have the two wide receivers are on fire. Stafford's all Stafford's showing us what he can really do. I'm still not a Cliff Kingsbury fan. You put Kingsbury against McVay. I'll take McVay every single time. McVay is actually, I think, 8-0 against Arizona since he took the job with the Rams. That's another good stat. But it's going to be a great game if Kyler Murray does what he's been doing, and the entire offense flows through him, and he's whipping the ball around and making plays with his legs. It could be a really close game, but in the end, I'm going to go Rams. We'll lay in the 4, and I'm going to go under.
Matt?
I see the spread at like 4.5, and I know that Kev is not a big fan of Kingsbury, but Kingsbury is going to make a believer out of Kev today. Zona does cover the spread. They could win the game outright. In the game of chess, the player who wins is the one who makes the least mistakes. And this is the toughest game of the week, I'd say, to pick. But I'm on the Arizona side. I think they cover, and I do think they could win the game outright. I think it's an over. I think it's 33, 36, 34, 37, right around that range. And Arizona will cover if they don't win outright.
And I'm agreeing with Matt. I like Arizona in this game, Kev. I think the Rams will play really well, but Arizona can score with anybody. And 4.5 is a weird number. I see it as a 3-point game, so I'm going to go with Arizona in the over. Now, moving on to Green Bay. Here's my scary game of the day. Pittsburgh's getting 6, +6 going into Green Bay, over under 45. Why is it I feel like Pittsburgh has a chance in this game? I don't know. Am I just Ugats? Like, am I being a Strumbalone? But why do I like Pittsburgh in this game, Matt?
Because the 6 points, because of basically what we've seen. I put in a big bet at the casino last night, and Green Bay was on the side that I took. And ever since I took it, I've regretted it because I feel the same way you do. I feel like it's a scary trap. And Pittsburgh, if any team needs to show something, it's Pittsburgh. I just don't know if they Chase Claypool's out. I don't think Juju's a one.
Deontay Johnson's back.
He's back, but still, is he back and is he in full health? He has to be back if Chase Claypool's going. And Najee Harris has been Patrick Swayze in the movie Ghost, just missing. I think that it could fall right on the 6. I think Pittsburgh is in this game. But at the same time, this is Green Bay coming home. They've been looking great. They look like, here you go. You got the Rams, right? Who's to say the Packers aren't that team in the NFC right now? They've been beating a bunch of good teams, even though the Detroit Lions hung with them for a little bit. They smacked them in the second half when the tough went going. And I see the Packers. I'll take the Packers laying the 6. What's the over-under?
45.
That tells me that Vegas doesn't think that Pittsburgh is going to score a lot. I know Rodgers is going to score, and Pittsburgh looked good week 1. I had Pittsburgh against Buffalo. I called them that they could win outright. They haven't looked the same since. And Ben Roethlisberger, Matt Ryan. I'll tell you right now, the equivalent to Ben Roethlisberger and the Pittsburgh Steelers is the Jets. They're scoring as many points as the Jets this year. Their offense is moving the ball as good as the Jets. They're in bottom of the barrel offense. So I think you got to go with what you see. That's the Packers and the under.
Kev?
Yeah, I agree with just what everything M1 said. Roethlisberger looks awful. The only thing that's got me a little bit worried is Valdez-Scantling is out, and I don't think he's amazing. He's been a bust for years, but he at least gives them a deep threat. So without Valdez-Scantling, it's really going to be all the it's always a Devontae Adams show, but there's not even going to be even a decoy. But I just think the Pittsburgh offensive line is in shambles, which has obviously a trickle-down effect on Najee Harris, who just can't get anything going. He gets all these touches, can't do much with them. Like last week, all you need to know about big men, last week Najee Harris got 19 targets. That means he can't push the ball downfield at all, which is trouble for any offense. And that over-under line, like M1 said, it means that there's really no expectation that Pittsburgh's going to score at all. The weird thing is, on the other side of all this, like Tomlin's record coming off like 2 losses is insanely good, including covering the spread. It's like 25-7, something absurd. Don't quote me on 25-7, but it's something really, really absurd. So that's why everyone's nervous about it, because somehow if Pittsburgh wins this game, say 21-17, no one's going to be that surprised because Green Bay already proved they could completely come out flat like they did against New Orleans in week 1, and Pittsburgh beat Buffalo. So you could kind of see it happening, but I think that's more wishful thinking. All that said, I'm going to go Green Bay, and I'm going to go under.
See, that's the thing. I think there is a lot of wishful thinking, right? And for some reason, I can't get past. I'm honest. I can't get past this game. I'm going to go with the Steelers +6. And I'm going to go with the over of 45. I don't know why I like the Steelers in this game. We'll see why it is that I think so. For the record, I just got a 3-team parlay in. I got the change. Hold on. Let's see what my odds were. The Texans came in at +17. Miami is still -1. And I got the Chiefs at -6.5. That dropped a whole point from when I started today. This morning, there was 7.5. Then I was 6.5. Did anybody else know
there's better games out there to be had today.
But I'm just saying that dropped a full point just now within the last, couple minutes. Because it was 7.5 when I did all the odds this morning. So that's already dropped.
Money's coming in.
For Philly. All right, I'm going to go to the next game. It's another pick'em. Baltimore at Denver. I don't even know the over-under, to be honest. I don't have it.
Yeah, hold on. It's why can't I see it? 44. I've never seen a week. I shouldn't say never. That's so many low over totals. There's like a bunch in the low to mid 40s. I don't know if it's unprecedented, but I can't remember a week like this recently.
Yeah, they're not expecting offense. Who do you like in this?
This is a crazy one because it started out with the Broncos favored, then it went all the way back the other way to the Ravens being favored. Now you said you see pick. I see Broncos favored again by 1. This is a weird game to handicap because Denver's looked good, but they've beaten up on some bad teams. Obviously, we all know that. Bridgewater's looked great, but one thing that's really interesting with the Denver offense is that Bridgewater, his average depth of throws has been really high this year, and it's insanely high when KJ Hamler was on the field because he was stretching the defense. It was opening up stuff in intermediate. Hamler is out for the season. He tore his ACL. Unfortunately, I was very high on him this year from a fantasy perspective. He's out. So the question is, who's going to stretch the field for Denver, or is Teddy going to kind of revert back into his old shell of just check downs and short stuff? So that's one big thing to watch today. Second big thing is on the Ravens side of the ball, they've had some crazy games. They beat the Chiefs. They beat Detroit on that NFL record-setting kick. And the question is, are they emotionally drained and kind of walking into a place where they're gonna catch a loss that they probably shouldn't catch? That's why I have a tough problem kind of sorting this one out. Bateman might actually play today, which would be good for them. They activated Le'Veon Bell from the practice squad. So there's a lot of weird stuff going on with this game. All that said, I'm going to say that I don't believe in Denver completely yet. They need to beat a team like the Ravens. And in the meantime, I will take the Ravens, and I am going to go under that absurdly low number.
Matt, you?
This is an easy game to pick for me. Mile High is a very tough place to play, and in order for Lamar Jackson to have any success against the DNs of the Denver Broncos, they're going to have to run RPO plays, run play action, pass, and the defense isn't going to buy it because Lamar Jackson's a little banged up, so they're going to go right for the backs. They're going to try and let Lamar Jackson do his thing, and he isn't going to be capable of doing that. Denver wins this game, and that is a fact, and it's going to be – what's the over-under?
44.
I would say an under because, you're going to see a lot of non-production from the Ravens today. The way that Denver stretches the field is with Tim Patrick. He's been here before. Cortland Sutton has not showed us much this year, but Tim Patrick is a player. I could see this game being like 23-17 Denver.
I'm going to Matt with Denver and the under. I think Denver's a better team than they look. Going on to tonight's game, the big game around here, the game that's got people fighting against brothers and sisters, cousins hating each other, in-laws fighting over this. It's Tom Brady -7 versus the Patriots. The over-under is 49.5. And I'm going to say it just like that. Tom Brady -7 against the Patriots. In New England, his return, he wants to score 50-something points. Belichick's out to stop him and make the running game score like 20 points. Over-under is 49.5. Kev, what do you think of this game?
Well, look, Brady wants to score 40. Wants to score 50. I've always wanted to go on a date with Serena Williams. I don't think doesn't mean either one of those things is going to happen. So I think the hype on this game is so huge. It's going to be like a Super Bowl. And the only thing comparable to this was when Manning left in Indianapolis and went back as a Bronco. And it was if you look into those stories, he admits it now that he was just completely out of his head, out of his normal rhythm for the beginning of the game. I think that's going to be the case here with Brady. If it's not, then he really is an android. I think it's easy to say the Bucs blow them out. The line started at 6. It only moved to 7. I think it will probably land somewhere at 7.5 because everybody and everybody in the country is going to be dumping money on the Bucs. I think the Patriots will actually make this a game, especially early. I have to confess, I did bet Bucs -6. Obviously the better than -7. But right now, I'm kind of flipping back. I think the Patriots are better than we think they are. I think the loss against the Saints really turned a lot of people off. New England losing James White is a tough one. Their offensive line is only average. Their defense solid front seven, but at the back end, if they had Gilmore, it'd be a very, very different story. But I think like when all is said and done, this whole student versus a teacher thing will play out in favor of the Patriots. So at 7 or 7.5, I am going to go New England. I actually might bet them money line just for more fun. I'd rather lose my -6 and win the money line bet. So I'm going to go New England here, getting the 7.5, and I'm going to go with the under.
All right. So wait, I think people are betting this game based on Brady versus Belichick. Like that's literally what the bet is in my head. Like people looking at it and they're picking between Brady, at least locally. They're picking either Brady or Belichick. Matt, who do you like in this game?
Everything that Kevin said was basically what's going to come out of my mouth. It was almost like Eminem dropping that bomb on the final, battle against the, Papada. So basically what I have to say about this is the way I always see the spreads. People, everyone I talk to, and it's not like 90%, it's like 95 to 99.9% of people, Bucs are going to kill the Patriots. Okay, cool. Put your money on it. It's not going to happen. The Patriots getting 7 all day long, that's a wrap.
Over under 49.
I'm going to go even further. Take the Patriots on the money line. They win this game. Over under, it's an under. And all those, what I just said, is factual. We'll revisit this next week. This isn't a homer. This is me betting with my money, not with my heart. Tom Brady is going to have a hell of a day in New England. And I don't know if he was sick or not with that voice. I think he's screaming at the top of his lungs because he wants this game more than anything. I don't think that losing Gronk is a huge blow because they got pieces all over the place, but it's a little bit better for the Patriots. Cameron Brate can do it. Cameron Brate's a great tight end. But knowing what play is coming is going to be beneficial to the Patriots in that defensive back end. The strengths and the weaknesses of these teams favor the Patriots more than they favor the Bucs.
All right, so you're going Patriots in under?
Yes.
Kev, you got the Bucs.
Patriots winning outright.
No.
Kev, you got the Bucs.
I have Patriots and under also.
Patriots under also.
Yeah, with 7 Patriots.
All right.
Hey,
go ahead.
Just so you know, I'm sorry, just had one thing here. Like I'm looking at the money and the tickets right now. This is kind of echo everything we've been saying. Tampa Bay has 82% of the money is bet on Tampa Bay right now, 82%, and 85% of tickets are on Tampa. When it's money line, 96% of money is on Tampa, and 72% of money is on the under. Like I cannot believe we're at a state where 82% of the money is on Tampa -7. That's insane to me right there.
So I'm going with Tampa, and Tampa on mine is -6.5. 6.5. I'm sorry. I'm locking 6.5 in. I like Tampa on the 7. I do. And I think Tom Brady literally is going to throw for honestly 4 touchdowns tonight. Like I think he wants to blow them out. And if they get up ahead on the Patriots, I don't see them putting their foot on the brake. I think
you remember the Super Bowl and I called Tampa Bay to double tilt to have the score from halftime all the way to the end. It's called I think it's double. It's a rare bet, but I nailed it. I said Tampa Bay would lead at half, and then they would have the end of the score. Tampa Bay is not going to lead in this game, and they're going to be playing from behind. Patriots are going to have a conservative approach like they always do, but they're also going to play with the lead, and they're going to stunt Tampa Bay. You're not going to believe what you see, and the conversation after this game is going to be master over student. And the game that matters more to the two of these teams is to the Patriots. Before the season even started, I always put into question and I didn't know the Rams were going to be the Rams. I did call the Rams over the Bucs last week, but it's very tough to be journeying around the country the way the Bucs are, and they went east to west, back to east, and that is going to hurt them. Coming up to New England is an emotional roller coaster, not only for the whole team, but for Brady, it's going to be more than what he's ready for. Belichick's got a game plan in mind for him. This game matters more to the Patriots. This is their Super Bowl, and when they do win this game outright, it's going to mean more to them and to the story of the NFL. What you're going to be hearing is going to be everything's good in New England now at 2-2, and their season is back underneath them. They got a solid foundation, and the Bucs are going to be just fine because they're going to be 2-2, and they still got Tom Brady, and they're still defending champs.
So.
Go ahead, Kev.
So this is absolutely nuts, by the way, guys. It's absolutely nuts. I just read, 5 minutes ago, I said it was, we said it was New England getting 7. It's now, King, like you said, New England plus 6.5. And I started looking around. And when I said it 5 minutes ago, Tampa had 82% of the cash. And I know I'm positive. I said it out loud. You know what it is now? Tampa's only got
wise guy money coming in.
Tampa's only got 56% of the money. So that means there's been a massive amount.
That's probably one or two wise guys coming in with a few $1 million coming in, and that's
New England.
They know it's yes.
Yeah, that's crazy. So wow, I can't believe that. That I've never seen it move in like.
Put your money on New England plus 7, and be very happy with it. But I think they win the game outright. I really do.
I'm still going with.
And you're still going to lose.
I'm still going to go Tampa on this one, minus 6.5.
You cannot go against Mastradamus.
I just think Tampa's a better team, Kev.
It doesn't matter. Listen, hold on 1 second. I want to get into the mind of King, Michael, because you say that Belichick and Brother Ray says that Belichick made Brady. So if he made him, doesn't he know him? And isn't this the same guy who beat the 14-point spread underdog when they were the Rams? They got game plans for these people. This is taking away what you like to do. And the Patriots of 2001 weren't even close to as good as the Rams.
All right,
so,
let me ask you. Can I ask this question, though? So you're acting like Brady has no idea at all what Belichick's going to try to do to him. Like as if he's never seen Belichick.
Oh, he does.
Before.
He said he does.
All right, so if Brady knows what's coming and he's still confident.
Listen, he's the most winningest quarterback in NFL history. Of course he's confident. But at the same time, he lost his voice this week. He might not be sick. It's probably because he knows what's coming. He lost to Matt Patricia with the Detroit Lions. I think Matt Patricia maybe won like 2 games with the Detroit Lions. One of them was Brady.
I'm still going to go Tampa minus the 6.5 and the over under of 49.5. I'm going to go with the under. So I'll go Tampa the under.
Patriots win this game 27-17.
And the Buccaneers now. All right. So I'm the only one going with the Bucs. Okay, I don't mind that. I'll take that. Raiders are going to the Chargers. Kev, what is this? I never have the money line spread. What is the
Raiders plus 3.5? Raiders are getting points, which is a crime.
Yeah.
Chargers are favored by what?
Like 3.5. Raiders going to win this game outright.
What's the over on the Kev?
Got to be quite high.
51.5.
Woo-wee. Matt, what do you like?
It's got to be an under, and it's the Raiders, and I think the Raiders win this game outright. And so far, I've been absolutely flawless with all my picks.
Kev,
I'm still in shock that the amount of money that poured in on New England in the last literally 10 minutes moved the spread a half point and flipped the money from 82% Bucs to 56%. Like think about do the math on all that; it'll blow your mind. Anyway, switching gears, I agree with Master Thomas. I think, and I haven't been a Raiders fan. I'll be the first to say I'm a John Gruden. I don't want to say hater, but I just don't think I don't think he deserved a 10-year deal. I don't like his team, but somehow it's all working. Somehow the offense is working. I'm a little confused what they do with the wide receivers a little bit, but the defense stepped up. And the Raiders' offense is looking good. Chargers are a team that everyone wants to coronate already. They beat the Chiefs, awesome game. They lost to the Cowboys. They only put up 17 points in that game. Herbert, everyone wants to say is elite. He's like Rodgers. He's not there yet. Like, we got to be honest. We got to slow our rolls a little bit. All that said, I'm gonna go with the Raiders getting points. It's crazy. The Chargers are playing at home in LA. I guarantee you that crowd will be at least 70% Raiders fans, which is nuts to think about. So I'm going to go Raiders, and I'm going to go under 51.5.
I like it.
I would join you guys with the Raiders. I've been riding the Raiders all year. I bet them against everybody. I'm going to go with the Raiders and the under. All right. Now, as far as parlays or stuff like that, Kev, what do you have for teasers?
The teaser stuff is crazy this week because the spreads are moving all over the place. I'll just give you a couple of ones that I like. Hold on. Like I said, like if you want to get Kansas City against Philly now, you got to tease it. If you want, there's a couple of others that have moved through. Like everyone thinks, hey, it would be great to tease the Bucks. And one that I talked a little bit earlier today, I guarantee you teasing the Bucks down to -1 or a half is the most popular teaser leg going. I would stay away from that one. But if you are looking for legs, I think teasing the Raiders up to +9, that's a good one to look at. I like teasing the Packers down to if it's 6.5, you can tease them down to a half. I like that one. I like Seattle getting teased up to 8.5. I like the Vikings teased up to +8. I think that's a good one. And I hate to say it because I've been using them as an example of what happens when a spread goes against you. But Chiefs tease down to -1 is good too. So I got 5 possible teaser legs here. You kind of pick and choose, mix and match based on what you want to do. I would say things to avoid. Maybe a favorite on the road you might want to stay away from because those are a little bit less likely to hit. So maybe eliminate the Chiefs and maybe focus on the Vikings getting up to +8. The Packers getting down to a half because they're at home. Raiders up to +9 and Vikings up to +8. So those are the 4 that I would mix and match any way you want.
Matt, what do you got for a parlay?
I got Detroit in Green Bay 250 to win a G. I do think that the Green Bay side is a little bit more scary than the Detroit side. I know Detroit is going to cover that, and they're going. But I also am pretty crazy to the point where when you look at all these people that are ready to throw their money on the Bucks and they're going to kill the Patriots, blah, 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 you take the Patriots and the points. But I am favorite of the money line. I think the Patriots win the game outright. Do you want to tread that? You don't have to. Take the points. Be on the safe side. That's way too many points to be giving the Patriots at home, especially with so much to prove.
All right, so Kev, for Bombers, right? Now, I'm going to go through the teams, and you got to let me know if there's even a chance that they can win. But I'm still taking them. I want to tell you how much they paid.
I was going to say, what are you even asking us for? We know you're taking them already.
Well, I already bet them. I'm just trying to write them down so I can get them. All right, so I put a 6-team Bomber parlay in.
Oh, Jesus.
Here's who I put. Detroit to win outright. The Giants to win outright. Arizona to win outright. The Jets to win outright. Pittsburgh to win outright. And then the biggest bomb of them all, Houston to win outright. Now, those 6 teams for $10 pay $20,000. That's a 16 parlay where you just gotta have there's like at least 4 of the 6 that I think are really gonna win. So you kind of just gotta hope for maybe 3. You gotta hope for Pitt, hope for the Jets, and really hope for Houston. But for a 16 parlay,
you never know. Like there could be an injury to Josh Allen, and Houston just straight squashing him. You gotta. Even with FanDuel and DraftKings, you got to sometimes go with a backup quarterback and hope that he comes in. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's got to be something that sticks. Absolutely, I agree with you, King.
So that is a bomber parlay. I mean, that's $10 wins you $20,000. So play the lottery. I mean, you got a better chance at this than the lottery. I'm gonna go with them. I got 2 parlays. I like Houston +17, Miami -1. And I love KC -6.5 because I got them at 6.5. And then I like Tampa at 6.5, Denver -1, and Seattle +2.5. And then finally, Kevin, and ended up 4 teams outright. I broke out the 4 teams I really liked: Detroit, the Giants, Panthers, Vikings. All 4 to win outright. $10 pays you $425. So that is what I am rolling with. Anybody else got anything they want to add about today's games?
Well, I think you I think you went through it. All your picks. We talked about them. Obviously, that 16 one, if that hits, that'll be like a lightning strike. But
Party of my own.
Yeah, the rest of them, I can see the case for all of them. But I think my phone was going off with some texts earlier from Brother Ray. You may have gotten the same ones. He's got some last minute fantasy advice you may want to bring up. But in the meantime, while you find that, I just the next thing to watch for New England Bucks is to see if a wave of money comes in on Tampa, because now they're under a touchdown. I think this thing could go. I don't think we've seen the last of the line moves since it's also the Sunday night game. This is actually crazy. If you really want to learn about sports betting, watch the spreads in that game and the money pouring in on both sides, and you kind of learn a lot about it.
All right, Brother Ray, right. Fantasy find for today: Hurts and Goff with comebacks this week. You can get them cheap for DFS. Also, Cousins is still cheap, despite being one of the best QBs in the league. At tight end, I like Fursker coming back today. I don't know if he's spelling errors. Titans are without Julio and Brown. He's a bargain and a prop target. Also love Freiermuth. Ben loves him too. At RB, at a running back, jump on Trey Sermon. Favorable matchup today. He will carry the rock. Definitely take the Lions against Fields. Great cheap stake. Wide receiver Deontay Johnson is back with no Claypool. Curtis Samuel returning as well. Titans are desperate at wide receiver. Westbrook Inkine will start and has flashed. And he said that screw you guys for having better heads of hair than me, except for me.
I appreciate it, Ray.
As he said.
You know what? Listen, I don't care about being bald. But what really broke my heart, because I've been shaving my head ever since I was young, but my little girl looks at me and she goes, "Dad, why don't you have any hair on your head? Grow it." And I'm like, "Can't grow it. Right? Get in there. Right there." Listen, my little girl's my world. And when she was like, "Do something you can't," I'm like, "Daddy can do anything, but I can't do that."
Yeah, it's weird. In my house, my kids are like, grow the beard. See, my kids are like, grow the beard. Like they've given up on me as a human. Like I'm already so old that I'm done. So like, just grow the beard. What does it matter? Grow it. It looks good. Yeah, just see what you can do. Like you know what I mean? Like I'm all done. I'm so old. It's like, grow that long ass beard. Let the birds live in the beard. And we're gonna move you into Golden Crest. Like that's where we're going with you. So that's pretty much what they're trying to tell me. But all right. So I like our picks. I'm gonna get this going. Kev, tonight we have I don't know, but I will find out in a second.
I might have to come meet up with you, Kevin. I might have to come meet up with you.
Wait, I want to go over this because I also want to go over tonight too. So hold on, Buddy. Here he is. Where is this thing? God, Buddy writes so much stuff. All right, this week on Paranormal, legit Paranormal. We are extraterrestrial. That sucked. Buddy wrote extraterrestrial and put EXTRA in caps. Extraterrestrial.
Oh.
I got to talk to Buddy about that. We don't put up with that kind of stuff. About our guest, author, director of Michigan MUFON, pronounced MUFON, but I don't know what it really is. Investigator and UFO abductee, Bill Konkoleski. He's the state director of the Michigan chapter of the Mutual UFO Network since 2004. He's the author of a couple of books. He was on sci-fi documentary, Abduction Diaries, streaming documentaries. So he's got a lot to say about the Hangar 1 and all the aliens. Kev, I'm very excited about that show. I'm so glad to be going over to aliens for a little bit. What about you?
I cannot believe I'm actually wishing for Buddy to do the intro. That was probably the only intro I've ever heard that worse than one of Buddy's. But yeah, I am excited for the show. I'm glad we're moving over to UFOs for the week at least. So I'm excited about it.
And Lastly, if you look at the bottom of the screen, here's all the domain names that you can type in that we now own. We'll go right to legitpodcast.com. Kev, you got heysmartup.com, legitfantasyfootball.com, legitfantasyguys.com, legitfantasysports.com, rhodeislandpodcast.com, ripodcast.com, unitedstatespodcast.com, universalpodcast.com, unsignedpodcast.com, eastcoastpodcast.com, westcoastpodcast.com, legitfantasysportscards.com, and legitfantasypolitics.com. There it is.
LFS.com is out there. Legit Fantasy Sports, like LFS.com.
I like that too.
Yeah, I can look for the initials. But we got a lot right now, and we're going good. I actually talked to somebody who might be interested in doing a show. So we got a lot of things going on, guys. There's a lot of stuff that's about to go on with us. Let's just make sure we make people money and we're correct with our picks, and that hopefully they listen to this really quick and they go get their bets in.
I'm on fire!
Any last words, gentlemen?
I forgot to mention it during the Giants game. We've had long debates about this guy. John Ross has been promoted from the practice squad onto the Giants roster. You guys are pretty high on him. If he has a monster game, I will apologize on the show on Thursday night and admit that I was completely wrong about John Ross.
He's not going to – I already told you who the surprise breakout candidate of this game is. I'm telling you, it's Kadarius Toney. I'm telling you he's going to be running routes this week that he doesn't get to run. Galladay's the big guy. Toney will be inside. Tony's going to have – he might have a touchdown like 80 yards. To me, that's a breakout game for him. Matt,
I got to get my bets in, though. We can't be playing until 1 o'clock here.
Yep.
All right. So, for Master Dominance, Genius Kev, it's me, Mike Lepre, King Mike L. This was Legit Fantasy Football, the show that started it all. Please join us tonight, 7 o'clock, 7:05 p.m. to be exact, for Legit Paranormal. Thank you, guys. Go make some money. We are going to go do the same